What is up, guys? Matt Gillette with Gillette-Ranch. I know it's been a while. I made a few videos, but I never posted them. I'm out here on the ranch checking on stuff. Let's go out and take a drive real quick. See how it's been. Might be a little bumpy. The pond was down about 6 foot, and it filled up because it's been raining every 3 days out here. Blue herring just flew off. But, this little area to about, oh, that's a big old bass. To right there, I cleared out. I dug that out, so it's probably about 7-8 foot. Then across the water, where it's right there, it's a 4 to 5 foot drop. Some big fish along the banks. This spooky little crow. See if anything down there by the feeder. Any deer or hogs. But cleared all this out. Over there is about a 5 foot drop on that side. Then I took all the dirt piled there, but I also filled in that ravine that was getting washed away. So I put quite a bit of dirt up into that ravine. The other dirt I need to place it elsewhere, and actually there's a little further up I need to put it there. But some big old fish just took off when I drove. Water's pretty doggone clear. Can't see because of y'all can't see because of the clouds. I got some more fish food for the feeder. I had to run out. They also cleared out, man, probably about 5 foot out there. So right there's probably 5 foot now. And I cleared this out. See, the water's already gone down a little bit since the last rain. It barely any overflow since the rain, but ground's pretty wet. The pond did start leaking again over there where it always leaks. Once the pond's five foot low, it'll stop leaking. So you can see all the green across the pond. That's all food plot that I planted. All that stuff's coming up, and I also planted around the pond dam. I heard something take off. Man, it's pretty doggone muddy. Heard something take off through the woods. I don't know what it was. But this is all food plot seed. I put radishes and turnips and oats and peas and, is that brassica, if I said it right? Frost on everything. It's kind of crunchy. It's pretty cold out here. It's about to get even colder in a couple days. But this stuff is all dying. I need to get down there and clear it out. Can't get down there with our tractors. It's too steep. But you see where it's leaked. The pond comes out of the ground right there. But there was a massive, massive oak tree. Not that tree, but there was a massive tree that was right here. So I'm sure the roots were in the pond dam and have rotted out. Bluebonnets, baby bluebonnets all over the place. This last year wasn't very good. Maybe this year it will. But I changed, put a SIM card in the camera. I took it out the other day because I couldn't get my card reader to work. I guess these are, oh, those are my tracks. Yeah, ground is, this mud is very sticky. Pond's looking good though. It's all full. There's barely any breeze right now. I'm glad, because I'd be freezing. But I planted more, threw out more food plot seed out there. It also has wheat in it. But I can tell more of it's coming up. Bring in the deer over here. And tell the food plots, I planted a lot of seed down there, about 1.5 acres. I figured the cows would trample it or eat it, but I can tell it's pretty green down there. I don't see any recent tracks of raccoons or hogs or deer around the pond. Only that blue heron tracks. I'm gonna switch out the battery in the feeder to have that solar panel charge it up. I gotta keep a spare battery in there, so I'll swap it out to keep it charged. And let's go for a little drive. I gotta scrape some mud off my boots so I can touch the gas pedal. I don't know I guess it rained a few days ago, but man, you can see how sticky this clay is. When it's wet, it's sticky. When it's dry, it's rock hard, this clay. Oops. Let's turn the heater on a bit. Hopefully y'all can hear. Bunch of fish just came up over there. This winter grass, cool season grass is coming up. It's pretty crazy because I dug that dirt out of the bottom. I dug that out of the pond, and all that grass just came up out of nowhere when that dirt was all 4 foot deep. Oh, I don't see where the water's. This is where all the water comes into the pond. All out there is where I threw a food plot seed. Salt blocks are almost all gone. Just put the card back in the feeder down there. That should still have corn in it. This other feeder to fix is over here across the creek. The raccoons kept tearing it up for the 4th time. I could have had a nice feeder with the money I put into it, but this time I rebuilt it and put a varmint cage, so hopefully that's keeping the raccoons out. That's all full of water to the creek. Some big deer track right here. That deer follows the same path. The other day you could barely see it, but they've gone pretty deep. But that feeder still has well, I fixed it last week or so, and it has 350 pounds of corn, apple corn, and some deer attractant. Haven't had anything on the camera in 3 days, but I bet later today we get something. It's pretty cold. That cold front's coming through. We'll get everything moving around. I'm gonna drive straight down this fence line. I'm gonna look in the woods, see if I see anything. I don't see any cows. I can tell the cows have been here in the past week or so, and the hogs have already eaten the cow manure. It's like an appetizer for them. Shot a few hogs in the back in that back corner, but man, it is so thick. They ran in the thick brush, and I wasn't gonna pull them out to try to get some pork chops. But yeah, that same buck follows this fence line. Go ahead and drive the fence line. That pond, from runoff and everything, it's not very deep. It used to keep water, and now it hardly holds any water. it might be 2 foot out there. But when our pond overflows from heavy rain, the fish swim out the creek, and sometimes we'll see some big bass in there swimming out of our pond when the water start raging. Just drive the fence line real quick. Looks like that boat track that had jumped the fence right behind me. But that's fresh tracks. I'll only cut through here. There's not very many cool season grasses through here. You see a few things. Most of this is dead weeds, but since we planted last year, we had 0 rain, so hardly any of our grasses sprouted. See the little Bermuda patch I'm about to drive over. When we seeded, there was some leftover Bermuda in it. You see the little brown patches. Got a few winter grasses come up through here. Fence all looks good. That's what I was looking at. The down tree over there, but it fell on our property. The fence is still up. Of course, we don't have any cattle in here, but just a bunch of cool season grasses. About 9 inches tall here. Oak tree still dropping leaves. Can't believe the mesquite's still green. A few low spots here. We're gonna bring some of that dirt I dug out around the pond and still fill them up. Still see some of these weeds are still green. They're slowly dying off. Let's go drive over here to this food plot and see what seeds coming up. There's the big bull by itself. A few winter grasses coming up over here. Still a bunch of weeds. Been keeping them mowed down. Keep them from seeding. But most of this greenery right here is all from a food plot I put out. And actually, I put out another 50 pounds out a couple of weeks ago, so it's still going to hopefully sprout. I can still see some of the seeds on the ground, barely, but of course, again, it rains like every 3 days. I don't know what everything is. I know I put turnips, radishes, brassica, if I said it right, peas, clovers, crimson clover, and this all has wheat, but not sure what everything is. I don't see any deer track or anything coming to munch on this stuff. I planted this stuff before, but it never ever came up. But it's finally coming up this time. I seeded it all through here, but you can see how when it rains, it kind of washed it down. So I'm sure some seeds will sprout down there. Still need to fix this fence. What is that? Oh, that's from the tractor. Some more of the stuff's coming up, whatever it is. Pretty quiet out here. Pretty mucky. My boots are heavy. I threw some more seed out here. All right, let's see. What is that? Oh, it's a leaf. I see some minnows. Should have brought the temperature gauge. See what the temperature of the water is so far. And this is where we're still digging this out. I'm gonna bring the pond out through here, but see how it's a steep drop off when we can't mow. A lot of that's wild grapes and all other type of briars and everything that will stab you. But this is what we're digging out. We dug out quite a bit of dirt. You see the top of it was out to there. We've been digging it out. There's water in it, or it's pretty muddy. Not really water now. But you can see how high it was right there. Trapped the water in there. It's very rocky. A lot of petrified wood all through these rocks. I'm always looking for a mammoth bones through the creek and out here. Rabbit tracks. I'm not that far from Waco. They find those mammoths all the time. I don't see any megalodon teeth. Let's walk over here. Get some of this mud off. I drug this out a bit, but it stayed so mucky I couldn't really get that far. You can see where I backed the tractor out through here and drug it through there. The breeze is picking up, but the sun's coming out, so it feels better. What was it, 10 months ago or whatever, I added 200 catfish in here. The bigger bass and catfish probably ate a bunch of them. But, these grasses all seeded. A few seeds still coming out. I'm gonna do a few things. I got some annual ryegrass I'm gonna put out in some of these areas that keep washing out. See if it will sprout. I know it should have done it back in September, October, but I never did. And all the stores ran out. But I can still see a bunch of seed on the ground over here. I'll put some fish food in the feeder, and there's that ryegrass I left around in a couple areas where it's washing out really bad. All these we only have a few oak trees, but the ones are there, they're growing since we ripped out all the mesquites. That tree's even getting bigger. That's the biggest oak we have on the property. There might be one there's some in the backwoods that are bigger, but they're hard to get to. I need to clean it out eventually, maybe in 30 years. It's pretty quiet, no wind. The windmills are all turned off. No wind. But thanks for joining. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.